Well, I charged my battery overnight from my cordless Sawzall, my cordless reciprocating saw, to make this job easy, cutting this hose in that tight space. And I've just spent about an hour now cleaning out the trailer and looking all around in the basement trying to find where it is, and I can't find it. And I know I can't use my regular Sawzall because I lost the set screw. A special little set screw that holds the blade in had fallen out, and the little blade retainer had fallen off with it. And it's a Milwaukee, so I've got to order that from a Milwaukee dealer. And I never got around to doing that. So now, throw a tarp down so I can lay underneath there and see if I can't get it with the hacksaw. And that ain't gonna work. I don't have enough clearance to get the hacksaw in there. Let's see. I wonder if... Well, I don't want to cut it at an angle. Let's see. I wonder if I could pull it out in front of the rail far enough to cut it. Not really. That might work. Well, I just wrestled into position, so you can see I started to cut here right along the rail, and then that way I can cut it with the saw like this, and then just pop it back into position once I'm ready to make my connection. Whew. Okay, so there's the cutoff end. You can see it's reinforced with a spiral wound wire to the outer jacket. Unfortunately, it's a chunk of the outer jacket ripped off when I was cutting it, and it tore away. That's just the outer jacket, so I think that's going to be okay. Just hope it's not going to give me trouble clamping it. And then now I get a good look at the ID of that pipe. Here's the pipe that I cut off. You can see I cut it off right before the first restriction. And I don't know if I can get some sun to shine down there, get a gander in there, but there we go. Maybe you can see now. Not sure if the camera angle's right to get the sun in there, but that is really crimped down. And then you don't have to go very far, and then you see the second one. See how that's crushed down. And then there's a smaller version here. So that pipe definitely needs to go. Still don't quite understand the mystery of all these fittings on here. This is part of the pipe. Then that's threaded into this fitting, which is threaded into this fitting, which is threaded into the elbow. So at the very least I want to take this one off up here and then see what this one looks like. Well, this is absolutely amazing to me how tight this is. I can't get over that I'm putting the pipe wrench on this last fitting and the other pipe wrench on this fitting. I'm bracing it with a pipe on the ground that I'm kneeling on, putting all my weight on this pipe, and it won't give. This will not unscrew from here, and this will not unscrew from here. Neither one of them want to give. It's almost as if they were cemented together or something, which, I don't mean, that's just doesn't make sense to me why anybody would do that, but then again, I don't know the full history. Alright, that's crazy. I literally was just standing on the handle of this wrench, bouncing up and down, putting all just under 200 pounds of me onto this thing, and it was not budging. So, you know what? I really don't care. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them make up a hose for me that has a swivel fitting on the end that's going to thread into that elbow and be long enough, and just have a cut end on the other end that I can put my double female pipe fitting in there and clamp it and be done with it. Well, I just got back from my local Parker industrial distributor, and here's what I got. I got a section of suction hose, and I had crimp on this connector, which goes to a nipple. And the reason why is because on the original hose, what was on there that I couldn't get apart was actually the reverse of one of these. In other words, it was a fitting that had threads that would thread into the elbow, and then had this swivel going this way that would swivel onto threads coming out of a crimp fitting attached to the hose. So that's why they had made that all up that way. So he could have made it up that way again, or he could make it up the way that he ended up doing it, which is with this kind of a fitting. So I got my swivel, so I won't be twisting the hose when I'm tightening it, and that will attach to this nipple, and then this nipple's going to go into my 90. And I had him do it that way because this was a little bit cheaper. I say a little bit cheaper. A little bit cheaper to do it this way. And then on this end, I've got a double barbed fitting, which basically this is extended up into the hose there. I got some nice clamps, band clamps, and I'm going to clamp that on. So that's the good news. Bad news is, you know, I should have asked how much this was going to cost before he rang it up, because if I had known how high it was going to be, I would have held out, gone into the city to the guys I go to in the city and have hoses done because they're cheaper. And when it came to this hose, I'm really wishing I did that, because here we go. I actually didn't have enough cash on me, so they had to split it into 2 orders. This is just for the hose. 1.25" suction hose. Okay, $153.86 plus tax, for a grand total of $163.48. And then I bought the 2 clamps. Those are $4.43 a piece for $8.86. The barb coupler, which is this fitting right here, for $6.76, and then the 1.25" male nipple pipe thread, or whatever NPT is, hex nipple, $13.49. $13.49 for this. And of course that price on the hose also included the fitting on the end here. Either that or you forgot to put it on there. But considering that this whole thing cost me about $200, I think they get enough out of me today. Of course, I asked the guy at the counter whether or not that pipe that I brought in was the same ID as the pipe he sold me, and he said, oh yeah, sure. But the thing is that that barbed fitting goes into that pipe he sold me pretty easily, and it's fighting me like a son of a gun on this existing line. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get this thing in there. I think I'm going to go get my dead blow mallet and hammer the damn thing in. Now I'm getting angry. That's twice now I dropped that stupid barbed fitting into the bucket full of fluid here, trying to pound it in there and having it fall out because it just doesn't want to fit. Well, that's just wonderful.